And hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Pascack Clutch Podcast. This one, our March Madness Selection Special. We thank Mr. Jake Farrar for helping us here. We thank Miss Manzella here at Pascack Hills for letting us use her room. I'm Matthew Merlino, along with Sean Barry, Sam Koppelman, and Michael McKay. We'll give you our March Madness predictions, but first, a little bit of review after the wild conference championship weekend we had. Out of the 6 major conference tournaments, only UConn in the Big East was the 1 seed that won, and they got the overall 1 seed in the bracket, which we'll show you in just a few moments' time. Down in the ACC, where UNC and Duke were 1 and 2, Duke was upset by NC State, and then NC State went on to upset both Virginia and their big brother school, North Carolina, in the ACC championship game to steal that automatic bid, which did hurt a lot of Big East teams, including Seton Hall and St. John's. The Big East only got 3 bids in this year's tournament. Pretty much a big robbery for our favorite conference. In the SEC, chaos as well. Mississippi State upsetting Dalton Connect in Tennessee. Auburn got the tournament win. In the final Pac-12 tournament, it was Oregon getting in over Arizona. And in the Big 12, Houston, the number 1 ranked team in the country, upset by 30 or more in the championship against Iowa State. Just a crazy conference championship weekend that gets us set perfectly for March Madness. And as to not waste any time, here's what we have with March Madness. We have our bracket up here. I'm not sure if you can see, but I hope you do. Thanks to Sam and his father for printing these for us. And let's begin. Why not? We had the first 4 games between Howard and Wagner in Virginia and Colorado State last night. Colorado State and Wagner moved on out of those 2. Wagner plays North Carolina in the West region, and in the Midwest it's Colorado State against Texas. First 4 games. Do we want to predict those? Do we really care? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I
no,
don't
really.
think so.
It's not much madness yet. Brackets aren't locked in until tonight.
Let's get started with the East region. Up top, UConn, the number 1 overall seed. They take on Stetson. I think we can all say UConn's
UConn.
Through that one. Put them in there. These games in Brooklyn. Then FAU, Final Four team last year. They take on Northwestern out of the Big Ten. I'm going to go with Northwestern, but I'm interested to see what Sean and Sam say, because I know you're going to be an FAU bandwagoner because you visited there.
I
Sean,
got FAU.
Sean's got FAU.
I also have FAU.
What did you do to Sean? What did you do to Sean? I thought for sure he wasn't going to be.
That's classified.
You did something.
Definitely FAU.
Yeah.
No bribery whatsoever.
Those pesky 8-9 games are always gonna get us, but
almost all the
FAU's trying to make that same run like they did last year.
I don't think they're going to.
They're not going to.
They fell. They're probably going to lose to UConn second round.
Mm-hmm.
San Diego State and UAB, potential for an upset there. San Diego State, another Final Four team from last year. What are we thinking?
I got San Diego State.
I've got UAB.
I don't know. I mean, it's like
San Diego State is too strong and physical.
look.
I agree. That's going to be close.
Their records, their regular season records, are 1 game off. They're basically the same. It's 24-10 for San Diego State and UAB. It's 23-11.
Very deep Mountain West conference, so that may.
It's a tough
Last year, everyone says that everyone had Charleston upset in San Diego State. What happened? San Diego State just crushed Charleston.
And they went to the Final
Exactly.
Four as well.
So San Diego.
And their core players of San Diego State are much better than UAB's core players.
So I think we're going with the Aztecs in that one. SDSU through to the second round. Auburn and Yale. Winner plays
Auburn.
San
I got
Diego
Auburn.
State. Auburn easily. Get the Ivy League out of here.
Yeah.
No one cares about your Harvard mouth. BYU and Duquesne. Duquesne in their first NCAA tournament appearance since 1977 after winning the A-10 tournament. They take on BYU, again coming out of a strong Mountain West
I don't know,
conference.
because honestly...
I'm going with Duquesne.
I'm going with
BYU. I'm going with Duquesne in this one. What are we thinking?
I'm going BYU.
I'm gonna join you, Matt.
On my bracket, I have BYU, but I'm gonna stick with BYU.
I see the Cinderella story.
We have Mr. Casamento.
Actually, as a matter of fact, put me down for Duquesne.
That's what I thought.
Better end of the season record. They beat Dayton. They beat VCU. They lost to Nebraska by 10.
A way better
No.
conference than, well, they're both in good conferences.
But not for Duquesne.
is hot right now. They just won the A-10 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Another potential for an upset. Illinois 26-8. They just came off of winning the Big Ten tournament.
Yep.
Morehead State also 26-8. Crazy name. They won their
Morehead
conference
State.
tournament. I think the same.
Big Ten teams are overrated in this tournament.
I agree.
The only team you can trust, and the only Big Ten team you can trust in the tournament is Michigan State, though. Tom Izzo is one of the coaches. Is his first name?
I think so.
Coach Izzo, he has one of the most wins in coaching in NCAA tournament history.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Illinois.
Really?
Illinois.
We've got 2 for Morehead State. Michael can tie it up. You got to be quick with this one.
I know. This is a toss-up.
So what are you picking?
You know what? Just to make it fun, I'm going to tie it up.
All right, Casamento.
You're our
guidance
tiebreaker.
counselor,
Come on
our
in.
supervisor, he's our tiebreaker.
I'm going to have to go to Morehead State.
He's going with
Morehead, all right.
HSU.
I want to have some fun here.
Okay, once again, potential for an upset. The 7 versus 10 matchup, not as much of an upset as 3 versus 14. Washington State, kind of
Drake.
a weak Pac-12 conference. Drake beat Indiana State in a very deep
Drake.
Missouri
Yeah.
Valley conference. Drake.
Drake,
You don't matter.
all the way.
I don't matter.
You don't matter.
All right, one more game to pick out of the first round in the East region. Iowa State, South Dakota State.
Iowa
South
State.
Dakota
Iowa
State.
State.
Iowa State.
That's
That's
pretty easy to pick right
Mhm.
there. And Iowa State with some momentum as well after defeating Houston in the Big 12 final. Second round in the East region, UConn, FAU in
UConn.
Brooklyn. UConn,
UConn.
pretty easy. They
Yeah.
have pretty much a home court advantage at the front.
Yeah.
I said FAU because
Through to the Sweet 16.
I
You
said-
said
yeah.
FAU
I said
because
that
you're a
they do-
bandwagoner.
I said that
That's
they'd be.
why.
I think they just go past one, at least win a
Six,
game.
six.
But I knew it when I saw that they're eventually going to be playing UConn. I knew it was over.
Yeah. All right.
So UConn.
Spokane, second round game. San Diego State.
Auburn.
Auburn.
Auburn. Between those two, I don't know.
No, Auburn is so underrated. They're better.
Auburn-
Sean,
Auburn
honest,
is
I
very
feel
good
like
this year.
Sean, we can all agree that Sean's watched more college basketball than any of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's probably the expert.
Auburn has beat Mississippi State twice in the past month with pretty decent score range. They beat Florida. They
Auburn
just
has a
barely
deep
they
team.
barely lost to Tennessee.
Yeah, kind of.
And they beat Alabama at one point and barely lost to Alabama
It's-
at Alabama by 4 points.
It's a very deep SEC
So,
this year. Don't sleep on those SEC
Give
teams.
me
I
Auburn
put
all the
in
way.
there. UConn,
Auburn.
Auburn, Sweet 16 matchup. Then Duquesne, Morehead State. I'm going with Duquesne in that one.
I'm gonna go with
You're
Duquesne.
not talking me out of that.
I'm gonna go with
You're
Morehead
not
State.
talking me out of that. What do we got?
Morehead
Sam?
State.
Duquesne.
Duquesne. That's
I'm keeping the Cinderella story alive. I say
It's not
Duquesne.
much of a Cinderella story.
Yeah.
And then our last second round game in the East region, Drake against Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Iowa
I
State
think
by
Iowa
a
State.
mile.
Well, not maybe
Actually,
not by a
no.
mile, but
No,
I'm gonna say.
I
I
mean,
was-
the records are very similar. I don't know what the game scores were, but
Well, the difference is the conference. Iowa State just beat Houston.
Let's go,
who was
Sweet
the number one
16.
team.
all right.
Drake,
Yeah.
Then
They
yeah.
won their conference.
Let's go.
Then
It's
Iowa
Missouri
State. All right,
Valley.
let's keep going.
UConn, Auburn.
Auburn!
16. Sean likes Auburn. I don't agree with you. Dan Hurley's
It's all
going through.
UConn.
Dan Hurley's
UConn.
going to the final
I
four.
don't know.
Auburn's winning against them.
You got to make a pick.
Where
Got to be quick.
Well, where are you at?
I'm with UConn. Sam's with UConn.
This Auburn
Because
team is
that's the
different, man.
sensible pick.
Would this be their three-peat?
This would be 2 in a row.
Mhm.
Let's go. Chop, chop.
Auburn, bro.
We got things to do.
You know what? I want to have some
Auburn
fun.
Tigers.
I'm going UConn still.
Oh,
I don't
come
care.
on.
Hold on. Okay, Pat McAfee.
Well, our bracket's already busting out. 'cause,
Duquesne, Iowa State.
Iowa
Sean,
State.
No.
yes.
Iowa State over Duquesne. I agree. 1 versus 2 Elite 8 matchup in the East region. What do we have? UConn, Iowa State. UConn easily.
UConn.
I would say
UConn. No, Iowa State.
I mean, Iowa State.
They're Iowa State are dogs this year.
Iowa State's very good.
They
but
they
Dan
can
Hurley,
beat UConn.
As we said at the top of the show, see, the Big East with only 3 bids. Dan Hurley doesn't take it too kindly with Big East disrespect. He's going to the Final Four.
Yeah.
And the national championship
yeah.
game at that.
They don't know what they're talking
Huskies
about.
down.
Put the Huskies down.
He's
Their
coming
first
off.
They lost to Seton Hall. They
It's
lost
true,
to my team.
but they didn't have Klingon in that game. They have Klingon.
Yes,
for the
they
whole
did. They
tournament.
had him in the whole game, and he
No,
came
they
out later in the
didn't.
second
No,
half.
they didn't.
Yes, he
left,
did.
He left the entire
No,
second
no.
half. I remember that game.
I was watching it. He left later during the second half.
All right. On to the West region. North Carolina, I believe the 4th overall
Yeah.
1 seed. They take on Wagner in the first round because
Is
they
this
won the
even a
first 4
debate?
game. Not a debate.
Not a debate, no.
No chance.
North
Especially
Carolina.
since they're playing in Charlotte. Pretty much a home game for them. That's the Lab Bell. Don't worry about us. Mississippi State, Michigan State. Another 8 versus
Spartans.
9
I'm going
tough
with the
matchup.
Spartans.
No.
I like Mississippi State. After
I'm
the
going
Tennessee
Mississippi State.
upset.
Spartans, they
Mississippi
have
State.
the most underrated guard, and his name is Tyson Walker, and he can ball out.
Sean did show me a
No.
lot
And
of
last year's second round,
Michigan State
he
stuff.
balled out
I'm
against
with-
Marquette, and
I'm
number
with-
2
I
Marquette
have
went
I have
down.
Mississippi State in many of my brackets, but I'm going to agree with
I have
Sean
Michigan
over
State.
here.
All these guys are seniors on Michigan State.
Michigan
This
State
team-
is overrated.
No.
I'm going Michigan State up here.
Don't talk too badly about
St.
Michigan.
Mary's and Grand Canyon. Another potential for an upset. I think St. Mary's is going through, but it's a weak conference.
Oh, no.
I have Grand Canyon.
I see the potential for a 12 seed upset there, but I don't know about that. Well, come
I'm
on,
just gonna
John.
go St. Mary's.
I'll just
I'm
go
gonna-
St. Mary.
I'm
I
gonna
don't,
stay
I
out
don't
of
really
this
know
one.
how I feel
I'm
about
going.
that.
I'm going
We've
Grand
got-
Canyon.
We've got 2. for
Who had the
St.
Cinderella
Mary's,
story
St.
last year? Was it
Mary's,
St.
and
Mary's or was that St. Joseph's? No.
Neither.
I think St. Mary was in
Peters,
last year.
That's what it was.
What? St. Peter's 2
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, it's 2 years ago.
Alabama, Charleston, Bama.
Bama.
Easily. There we go. The Tide, Clemson, New Mexico.
New Mexico.
I have Clemson.
I was going to go Clemson as well.
Tiebreaker vote.
Clemson, New Mexico.
and New Mexico.
I'm gonna go Clemson.
Hey.
All right. I do not like that pick. And neither does Sean.
I'm fine with it.
But we'll see.
Baylor.
Colgate.
Not even an
pretty
argument.
easily. Not an argument.
Not an argument.
Baylor into the second round once again. Dayton. Tough loss for Dayton. The favorites come out of the A-10. They were ranked for almost all the year, but they lost in the A-10 tournament. They weren't even the regular season champions. They take on Nevada, both with 7 losses. Nevada with 2 more wins in a deep Mountain West Conference. Give me the Wolfpack right there.
I have Nevada.
So do I.
Dayton.
Sean? Dayton, really. Michael's going to be crazy. Casamento, get ready.
Yeah, Casamento, come on.
All
I'm going
right, what do
Dayton.
we
I
got?
think I'm calling Dayton right now.
Ooh,
Hey, really?
I'm going with
like
the experienced
that. I
NCAA
don't
guy.
like that.
Casamento's on my side today.
We will see.
Terrible
You have
picks.
the least amount of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do
these
not
these
know
picks
what
are
you're
not
talking
good.
No, I don't. I will say right now, I do not.
Arizona, Long Beach State. Long Beach State, the story with them is crazy. They fired their head coach last Monday, then won their conference tournament, and now they're in the dance as a 15 seed
Yeah.
against Arizona.
Well,
I'm going Long Beach.
They,
I'm going Long
and in the
Beach
past
State.
3 games, they won by a
I'm going
lot.
Long Beach.
So I'm going Long
that's
Beach.
the story.
How's
Long
Arizona
Beach State.
coming into this?
They lost in the Pac-12 semifinals,
Yeah.
I think. I'm going with Long Beach.
I'm going Long
Long
Beach.
Beach.
Yeah.
Why not?
You just write LBS. It's fine.
Yes. Second round, West Region, UNC, Michigan State, North Carolina.
Spartans
North
can upset.
Carolina.
They can upset, but I don't think they.
No, not now.
There's the possibility, but if we're
Nah.
thinking logically, the Tar Heels are
USC.
going to the Sweet 16.
UNC.
Yep.
St. Mary's against
Bama.
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 I
Bama.
agree.
Roll Tide.
That's my bracket right there. Clemson against Baylor.
Baylor.
Baylor goes
Baylor,
pretty
absolutely.
easily. Clemson is very bad at basketball. I'm not even sure how they made it in the dance with a subpar ACC record. And then Dayton, Long Beach State. I think Long Beach State.
I have Long
Long
Beach
Beach
State.
State.
Yeah, I have Long
Yep.
Beach State.
I like that as well. Sweet 16, Cinderella.
Did you know that the past 3 March Madnesses, there's been at least one 15 seed going into the Sweet 16?
Princeton, St. Peter's, and what was the other one?
I'm not
I
sure.
forget. I remember the other 2 because they were from Jersey.
Or Roberts.
Or
Roberts. Yeah,
yes,
that's what it was.
Ohio State upset.
Oh, Roberts.
UNC, Bama,
UNC.
first Sweet 16 game.
UNC.
I don't know. I can see Bama upset.
Bama is so
overrated.
Something
Overrated.
tells me
No.
after what happened last year, Bama's going to upset. Since all of you say UNC, I'll put UNC in there. Michael,
yeah.
nobody cares
I
what
don't
you say.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's fair.
Baylor, Long Beach.
I have Baylor.
goes
Baylor.
through. Cinderella run. Ends.
Yeah.
go Bears into the Elite Eight, and then UNC. I presume we're going with the
Baylor.
Final Four.
I'm going Baylor.
Baylor.
I'm going
Ooh,
UNC.
Baylor.
I can see that going either way.
I'm going UNC.
Baylor has
Baylor.
the deeper conference, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Baylor.
Okay.
So that sets up our first Final Four matchup between UConn and Baylor. We'll get back to that in a few moments. South Regional, Houston against Longwood. Houston goes through. That's pretty easy to say. Over in Memphis. The other game down there in Tennessee, Nebraska, Texas A&M. That's a tough one.
A&M.
Give me A&M in that one. You have.
I have A&M as well. Yeah.
I'm going, yeah, give me A&M right there.
I think in one bracket I may have Nebraska.
Other games near us in Brooklyn, Wisconsin, JMU.
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 No, I have
Give me the-
Wisconsin.
Give me the
JMU
After that
goes
big,
through.
after that big win against
They
Purdue.
did upset, but
JMU.
they may have depleted all their energy in that upset. And now with March Madness
I
time,
think I'd get.
JMU. I did hear JMU's pretty overrated, which I kind of agree with, but I think they at least get one win.
Nah.
in March Madness.
JMU. Give me the JMU.
Dukes, yeah.
Dukes. I hate Dukes.
Speaking of Dukes, Duke against Vermont.
You have to
Duke.
go
Vermont,
Duke.
Vermont.
Yeah, Duke.
This is Duke. This is Duke. Either they win first, either they win and make it to
They're
the
gonna
Final Four,
lose in the
or they
second
lose
round.
first
They're gonna
round.
lose in the second round of
think about it.
I
JMU.
can also see that.
Even if you have them going through, eventually they're gonna have to play Houston.
That's true. Well,
Yeah.
So it really
I'll
doesn't
put
matter.
Duke through, but I think
Put
we can
Duke-
all
put
agree
Duke
that
Duke
through,
JMU is
but
gonna
we already
win
know
the
that
set.
Houston eventually will end up beating them if they go
Duke's
through.
going through. I have Vermont. I don't care what you guys say. I also don't care what you guys say for this. NC State over Texas Tech.
Yeah,
NC
absolutely.
State.
Yeah.
And then give me Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Kentucky, I have getting out of this region. So they beat Oakland and then.
So what I have, I
Florida,
actually have
Florida.
Wisconsin going into the Sweet 16 on my bracket, even though they're tired.
I don't like that.
I have Duke.
I can see
I
it
have Duke
happening,
doing
I
Duke
just don't
things,
like it.
and then I have Houston going through and losing.
I just don't like that pick.
Florida.
Last two games, first round, Florida against Boise State or Colorado.
Florida.
They
Florida.
tonight. Gators, and then Marquette against Western
Marquette.
Kentucky.
Marquette.
I see Western Kentucky upsetting, but we'll put Marquette in there. Houston versus Texas A&M.
A&M.
Houston.
Houston.
I don't think so, but it's possible.
Houston,
It is possible.
absolutely.
Houston gets through. JMU over Duke.
I
JMU.
I mean, if I
Give me
had
the better
Wisconsin
Dukes.
in my bracket, I had Wisconsin going through. But I guess with this
JMU
one,
over that.
I guess this one will go JMU. Yeah.
JMU gets it
JMU.
over that. They make the Sweet 16 in the South region.
Kentucky.
NC State against Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
I can see NC State making a run, but not against Kentucky. That's the problem with who they run into. And then a tough one to pick down.
Gators.
Maybe not.
I have Marquette.
I can see Florida. If
Gators.
that matchup happens, I think Marquette's getting upset
Gators.
first
I'm going
round.
Florida.
I have
But if
I
that
have
happens,
Marquette.
I got Florida.
Florida.
Gators.
Michael says Florida. Now you matter. All right,
My
Sweet
voice is heard.
16. Houston, JMU.
JMU.
Ooh,
Houston.
ooh.
That's
All right,
terrible.
This is where it ends.
No.
That is
Terrible
a
pick.
Bad pick.
That's really
No.
bad.
Ooh, but
That
then,
is
then
really
again, you
bad.
think about what happened against Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament.
I
can
know
see-
March Madness.
Sean is the college basketball guy out of this group.
Nah, put Houston.
I gotta
Just
put
do.
I
Houston.
think-
Everyone,
think
do
it's too
just
much
do
of
yourself
a
a favor.
Houston is
I gotta
overrated.
put
You guys like Houston.
I
Do
gotta
yourself a
put
favor. Put on
I
Houston.
have
Because if Houston actually
They're playing
ends
it
up
safe
almost,
over here.
all of this will be wrong, by the way. NC State against Florida. Oh wait.
Whoa,
Hold on, hold on. I screwed up there.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Whoa.
Florida. What do we got?
Kentucky.
SEC battle.
Kentucky.
And Elite Eight.
Kentucky.
Kentucky over Houston.
I have Houston.
Kentucky.
I don't know.
Wow.
Actually,
so
no.
fast, my
Actually,
friend.
no. Sorry. In my bracket, I had
You have
Marquette beating
but
Houston.
That's not gonna
Kentucky.
happen. Kentucky's
But-
gonna get to the Final Four.
Put down. Yeah. Put down Kentucky.
Wildcats. Shout out to Dr. Whitfield, former Kentucky Wildcat, as Sean likes to
Very
say.
professional.
Last region, Midwest, Purdue against Montana
Purdue.
State.
Purdue.
Not happening 2 years in a row.
Zach Edey going
He
crazy.
is overrated, but Utah State, TCU.
Utah State.
I like TCU.
I have TCU.
I have
don't know.
TCU.
I can't pick that game. I'm just going to go TCU because I know people who go there. So, Horned Frogs Get them in there. Gonzaga, McNeese State. I was going to put McNeese State, but I looked at their schedule recently. They have played garbage teams
Yeah.
this
Gonzaga.
year. Give
I
me
have
the Bulldogs.
Gonzaga.
They are flying under the radar, but it's a bad year for Gonzaga. Now, some big news.
Sanford.
Big news. Big news.
Yep.
Just wait. Big news for Kansas. Their star guard out of the tournament.
Yep.
Sanford goes
Sanford.
through.
Sanford.
Sanford.
Goes through. Thank you and good night. Another down year for the Jayhawks. And then South Carolina against
Oregon Ducks.
The
Oregon
I
Ducks.
have
Ducks.
Ducks. I had the Gamecocks.
Ducks.
Not so fast, my friend. Oregon gets through to the second round. Creighton against
Creighton
Akron.
Blue Jays.
Blue Jays from Omaha,
For some
Nebraska
reason,
are
Mullen's
going
a
all the
Creighton
way.
fan. He's about
Thanks, Sean,
he's
for
Trey
that.
about
Alexander,
5,000
Ryan
miles
Klopp's
away
brother.
from Omaha.
And Bever Sharman.
But I'm going with Creighton over Akron. Did you see how Akron won? They got a crappy decision from who they were playing in the match
Yeah.
final. It's a foul. Creighton goes through. Thank you. Their last two games, Texas over Colorado. I think we can agree.
That's
State.
Tennessee. Wait.
No,
That-
Texas over
I'm looking at
Colorado.
my bad.
That's
No, it's
Texas.
Colorado State.
Oh yeah, Colorado
I
State.
feel like Colorado State can win against Texas.
I think so.
I-
What's
well.
Colorado
Texas.
State's record?
They're up here, 24 and
Colorado
10.
State.
Texas is 20 and 12.
Take me down
is
for
over.
Texas.
Colorado State, I see.
Colorado State.
Colorado State. I'm gonna go with Sean.
We have 2 for Colorado State, 2 for Texas. That means we got to call
Big T.
the big man in here.
Big T.
He's got a lot of people committed to Texas, so I think
Yeah,
he's
a lot of
got
Big T.
a little bit of bias. But we shall see. Tennessee, St. Peter's,
Tennessee.
not happening again.
Not
No.
Not
again.
happening again. Tennessee
Womp
goes
womp.
through. Second round, Purdue, TCU, Purdue.
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 That's easy.
I have a feeling you guys are going to have Sanford upsetting Gonzaga.
I have
Sanford.
Gonzaga,
I have
actually.
Gonzaga.
Sanford is the best team to.
I'm staying out of this one.
Sanford.
I'm going Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
These two are going
Michael doesn't know what
Gonzaga.
he's saying.
Michael doesn't know what he's saying. Sam
This is
kind of
between them
knows
two.
what he's saying.
Sanford.
I'm just saying
We'll give
Gonzaga's
him
playing
easily.
good.
I know
Right.
Gonzaga's having a down year. However, Sanford just, I don't know, they don't look that strong.
If I
feel
have
like.
to get involved in this, which I
Even, they don't have a
Sanford
strong.
goes through.
Sanford's core
Who has
players.
Sanford?
This doesn't matter to me.
Sanford's
Sean
core
has
players score 15.8 points a game, 6.1 rebounds a game, and 1.5 assists, and also 11.6 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, and 1.2 assists per game. However, on the other hand, Gonzaga has their 2 core players having a 16.5 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game, and assists per game, 14.4 points per game, 7.1 rebounds per game, and 2.5 assists.
So they could. They could
And
be
then
off, though.
also they have a
still
harder
going
schedule. They lost to Purdue earlier on in the year by only 10. They lost to
Yeah, but how about later in the year?
later in the year they beat St. Mary's by 3.
If I'm being honest,
And they by 23, sorry, and they lost to St. Mary's again 10 days later by 9.
March Madness is a whole new season, though.
It is.
Like,
It is.
when you play in your regular season, you play that way to get there.
Yeah.
How are you going to play in March Madness now? Completely different.
Yeah.
It's
Sanford
big
Sanford lost
feel like-
by a long shot, 98-45 against Purdue. And then let's see, their biggest win recently was against Western California, 88-62.
I feel like with a
because that
lot
was
of
the
sports,
conference tournament.
I heard this
So-
last year. I've heard someone say this team is gonna win. This was Rangers Devils. I heard that the Rangers were gonna win, but I said it doesn't matter about experience. It matters how you play this year. So it doesn't matter what happened in the regular season. We're in the postseason now.
Sanford.
Sanford isn't-
Can we all agree that Michael shouldn't have brought up hockey when talking about March Madness?
Yeah.
His
But
example.
put me
anyways,
down for
example
Gonzaga.
kinda
His
makes
example
sense.
kind of makes sense, but it's 2 different games. Final vote: Sanford.
Gonzaga.
Sanford. Thank you
Alright.
and good night.
I don't like that. I don't like that
I don't
pick
like
at all.
any of these picks. Oregon against Creighton.
Oregon Ducks!
Creighton Blue Jays.
Creighton.
I have Creighton.
I have
Thank
Creighton.
you.
I actually have Creighton losing in the championship.
Which I don't.
Texas, Tennessee.
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 Purdue, Sanford.
Purdue.
Eh.
Purdue.
I can see the upset, but I think Purdue's winning it all.
No way. There's no way.
Creighton.
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 Blue Jays.
Bro,
Let's go.
And-
go back to the beginning of the year against Purdue Sanford, 98-45.
Okay, yeah. Oh, well.
Not happening.
Purdue against
Creighton.
Creighton
Really?
Blue Jays.
I have Creighton.
Creighton.
All right. I don't like that, but I see it happening. So, our final four. UConn out of the East, Kentucky out of the South, Baylor out of the West, and Creighton out of the Midwest. UConn, Baylor.
Baylor.
Ooh,
UConn Huskies.
and
Give me
Baylor
UConn.
Bears.
UConn.
Stop.
UConn.
I'm going with my championship, UConn.
And then Kentucky against Creighton. Michael's going to say
Creighton
Creighton.
Blue
You sit
Jays.
down.
Kentucky.
What do us three say?
Honestly, I would go Creighton, but Kentucky's just a solid
Nah,
team. They're
but Creighton
solid.
could turn up though. Against
Creighton
them,
could
Creighton's
upset.
been pretty good this
I think that would be their first Final Four appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at Kentucky. Let's look at
Possible.
UConn, Creighton, Big East.
I don't think we have to look
Cam
at,
Jones and
we have
Tyler
to look
Kolek
at Kentucky
and
because
solid.
I'm going with Kentucky.
Just let's go with Kentucky.
Yeah. Wildcats.
Antonio Reeves of Kentucky, 20 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, 1.5.
All right, here we go.
1.7 assists. Put me
And
down
now
for
the
Kentucky.
champions.
Kentucky.
UConn against
Kentucky.
Out of those
Kentucky.
two, I can see it being a very
Kentucky.
close, a very
Yeah.
balanced.
They have
game
so much
between
better guard
Kentucky's
play.
high-scoring,
Kentucky.
fast-paced tempo, and UConn's defensive,
Kentucky.
slower tempo.
Kentucky.
It will matter. It will matter who establishes their game first, whether
Yeah.
it be defensive or offensive.
Kentucky.
I think Kentucky.
I have
Kentucky.
UConn.
I'm gonna go
Kentucky.
UConn.
I can go
Oh my.
either way.
Yeah, really.
Stop glazing UConn.
It is going to be Kentucky, if that happens.
You know what? Put me down for Kentucky.
Kentucky!
I'm down for the
Going
risk.
to
Kentucky.
be
Put me down for Kentucky.
If that matchup happens on April 8th in Phoenix in the national championship game on TBS, it'll be the Kentucky Wildcats winning March Madness. Prepare for all of this to be wrong, by the way, because I have no clue how you guys have. What did I not like? I have no clue how you guys have Marquette winning in the first round. Western Kentucky's going to upset them.
No.
I do like the upsets over here. I think UAB is going to beat San Diego State, and I think Northwestern is going to beat FAU because FAU is overrated. Also, for some reason, we put Clemson over New Mexico. I don't know why that happened. This is what these two stooges.
I said New Mexico.
You said New
You know
Mexico.
what?
I know.
Now we
It
can't
is
change
too
it.
late
It's
to
over.
change it now. It's in
Over.
permanent marker.
It's
Fine.
It's
fine.
in permanent marker. Let's end this episode with our score predictions. Michael, you start.
I'm gonna go.
UConn, Kentucky.
I have UConn winning personally, but it doesn't matter. UConn 117. Kentucky
One-
108.
Did this brother just
What-
say
117?
100 points? Is it
I
going
don't
to
know what-
overtime?
I don't know what
They barely get to 100.
No, they
I
barely
don't
get to
know what
100.
what the
Average
Okay,
score
moving
is
on.
like
So
70s.
Michael can get some examples.
70s
Let's
and
go with
60s.
Sean.
Come back to me.
Let's go with
Um,
Sean.
I got 81 to 77.
81 to
I-
77 Kentucky. I can see
I have my new one.
that. Michael's got it.
79-86 UConn.
All right. 79 76?
79-86.
You should write 86, 79
It's too
UConn.
late. He said it first. Sam, what do we got?
I
Kentucky
have
winning?
70. Wait, hold on. 76 to 61.
Ooh, a bit of a blowout.
Who?
To 61?
To 61 for Kentucky.
I am going to go. I had Purdue versus UConn in the championship, and I had Purdue winning. I had it down at 66-63. If this matchup happens, it's a whole different game. I got to put it in the 80 somewhere, kind of like where Sean is. I'm going to pretty much take your score and turn it into mine. I'm going to say 82 to 80. Kentucky wins this game.
I like the cumulative score of like 137. That kind of range.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
If this is the matchup, I like
Honestly,
that.
I think the 160s are way too high. The
Yeah.
160s, 150s.
I'll put down 164.
164.
Yeah.
That's a bit high. Unless it goes to overtime, that's a bit high. So, we have some time. What are we thinking about the actual brackets and reactions? I know Sean's probably mad about
Auburn.
Big East disrespect.
Auburn is win against UConn 316. That matchup happens. I feel like, but the only good opponents UConn has really played was really just Big East. Like, besides that, they didn't really play anyone good outside the conference. What else?
I feel like
Yeah.
Creighton got disrespected in the Final Four. That's just
I
me.
feel like the Big East as a whole got disrespected. 3 bids for a major conference.
Yeah.
Is incredibly wild.
Because if all the Mountain West teams lose in the first round besides San Diego State, or even just all of them lose,
Yeah.
it's
I
like
know.
The,
I feel
the
like this
Mountain
is-
West got 6 or
This
7 bids.
this year, March Madness just looks a lot different than it usually does.
yeah.
This one, anybody can win. I feel like.
Yeah.
Drake can go on a run to the Elite Eight. I feel
Absolutely.
like. DeQueen, same thing. NC State.
No, actually, no. Drake cannot go on if they're playing Iowa State. Iowa State is solid this
They're
year.
true. They're hot. They're hot. Long Beach State, I feel like can beat Baylor.
Yeah.
Even-
That's a bit of a stretch.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Even
It's
but-
a bit of a stretch, but it's possible.
But
This
it's
is
possible.
March. St. Peter's, goodbye. They're done. Western
Yeah.
Kentucky, I think, beats Marquette.
I feel like
I
it's
have
still-
Marquette.
Even so, if
I have
Duquesne-
Marquette at least playing Kentucky.
Even if Duquesne or Drake
In
goes
this
on a
one.
run, they're still gonna get stopped at
They're
the-
still
the
going to
Elite
lose
Eight
to
by
UConn.
UConn or Auburn.
Yeah. So it should be a fun one. Kicks off Thursday, 12:15. I think is
I
the
thought it
first
kicks
game
off tomorrow.
on
Like,
CBS.
Creighton's playing Akron
Yeah,
tomorrow.
First
Tomorrow.
game on Thursday is Michigan State versus Mississippi State.
That's going to be a good
Yeah.
one.
What time? Do you know?
12:15.
12:15.
I just know Creighton's playing Akron tomorrow.
Well, all of these first round games should be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I think that'll do it. We've done our predictions. We've
Yeah.
talked a little bit. Now it's time for you to make your predictions. We wish you well in that. And for Sean Barry, Sam Koppelman, and Michael McKay, I'm Matthew Merlino. Don't take this as betting advice, please. And we'll see you
Don't listen
next
to me.
Wednesday here on the Pascack Clutch Podcast. Thanks to Mr. Casamento and Jake Farrar for helping us with the camera and the computer. And we will see you